Pre-colonial. The pre-colonial era in the Philippines refers to the period before the arrival of the Spanish in 1521.
Before the Spanish arrived, the Philippines wasn't one country, but many. Different groups of people, mostly Austronesians, sailed from Southeast Asia over many years, settling across the island and bringing their own unique cultures.
Did you know, during the pre-colonial era, most of the kingdoms and the villages are ruled by a king or a chief, raja or a dato.
Life revolved around farming, especially rice, and trading. They sailed to China, India, and other places, exchanging goods like golds, beautiful shells, and beeswax. They believe in spirits, living in nature, and honor their ancestors, showing their respect for their heritage.
Early Spanish expedition and colonization during 1521 to 1571.
Ferdinand Magellan, sailing for Spain, arrives in the Philippines and claims the island for the Spanish crown. Magellan landed on the island of Cebu. He set up friend relations with some of the local chieftains and converted some of them to Roman Catholicism. On 1565, Miguel Lopez de Legazpi establishes the first permanent Spanish settlement in Cebu, marking the beginning of Spanish colonization. Legazpi's forces conquer Manila, establishing it as the capital of the Spanish East Indies.
After the long period, the Philippines started fighting for independence because of Spanish abuse.
Before revolution, propaganda movement was made. It published articles, essays, and novels that highlighted Spanish cruelties.
The revolution started by the Katipunan, a secret society aimed to gain independence from Spanish colonial rule. The revolution began with the Cry of Pugadlawin in August 1896, where Filipino tore up their community tax certificates or cedulas as a symbol of their defiance against Spain. Key leaders included Andres Bonifacio, Emilio Aguinaldo, Jose Rizal, and Mabini. The Spanish authorities quickly suppressed the initial uprising but faced continuous warfare from the Filipinos. The main highlight is on June 12, 1898, Emilio Aguinaldo declared the independence of the Philippines in Kawit, Cavite.
The years 1898 to 1946 were known as the American era in the Philippines.
The Philippine-American War began in 1899 after Filipino revolutionaries declared their country's independence and lasted until 1902. Guerrilla warfare as well as regular combat were features of this conflict. With William Howard Taft serving as the first civilian governor-general, the United States created a civil government in the Philippines in 1901. In 1916, the Jones Law promised ultimate independence. A measure of self-governance was also granted with the establishment of the Philippine Assembly. The Commonwealth of the Philippines was founded in 1935 as a provisional administration in advance of the country's complete independence, and Manuel L. Quezon was chosen to serve as the Commonwealth's first president.
In December 1941, Japan's launched surprise attacks on Pearl Harbor and Clark Field to cripple U.S. naval and air power. In 1942, General Wainwright and American forces surrendered on Corregidor Island to Japanese troops. The Japanese occupation of the Philippines in 1943 saw the installation of Jose P. Laurel as president of a collaborationist government. Manuel L. Quezon, the exiled president, died in 1944 in the United States, a significant loss for the Filipino resistance movement during World War II. His passing occurred while he was leading the fight against Japanese occupation from exile. Following devastating military losses, the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Japan surrendered in 1945. Emperor Hirohito's intervention was crucial in securing the surrender, formally signed aboard the USS Missouri.
On July 4, 1946, the Philippines gained its independence. This day marked the official recognition of the Republic of the Philippines as a sovereign nation. The United States lowered its flag while the Philippine flag was raised during the independence ceremonies.
After the independence, Manuel A. Rojas became the first president of the Republic of the Philippines.
Manuel Rojas focused on stabilizing the economy and rebuilding the nation following the war. From 1948 to 1953, Elpidio Quirino became the president of the Philippines. He continued in rebuilding the country while dealing with obstacles like the Hukbalahap Rebellion. He also encouraged economic and social reforms. After Quirino, Ramon Magsaysay became the president from 1953 to 1957. He is known for his attempts to boost the economy and his anti-communist views. His days are called Golden Age of the Philippines, but sadly lost his life in a plane crash. After the death of Ramon Magsaysay, Carlos P. Garcia became the president of the Philippines in 1957 to 1961. He promoted the Filipino First policy and focused on economic nationalism. He also worked on reducing foreign control over the economy. From 1961 to 1965, Diosdado Macapagal became the president of the Philippines. He worked to enhance the nation's economic policy and implemented land reform. He also aimed to advance social fairness and lessen poverty.
In 1965 to 1986, Ferdinand Marcos, who served as the 10th president of the Philippines, was a controversial figure in Philippine history. Marcos implemented policies aimed at industrialization, including the establishment of industrial estate. This led to economic growth and job creation. Marcos declared martial law in 1972, which suspended civil liberties and gave him broad power. Marcos announced the lifting of martial law on national television, with his wife Imelda Marcos by his side. Many of Marcos' decrees remained in effect until the 1986 People Power Revolution, which eventually led to his defeat.
After Ferdinand Marcos, Corazon Aquino became president of the Philippines from 1986 to 1992. She was the first female president in the Philippines and also in Asia. She appointed the commission to draft a new constitution which was ratified by a landslide vote in 1987. Her presidency was marked by a commitment to nonviolence and democratic principles. After Aquino, Fidel B. Ramos served as the 12th president of the Philippines from 1992 to 1998. His presidency is often remembered for economic reforms and peace agreements.
Joseph Estrada became the president of the Philippines from 1998 to 2001.
Joseph Estrada was known for his populist style, appealing to the poor and disenfranchised. He promised to fight for the common people and improve their lives. Gloria Macapagal Arroyo served as the 14th President of the Philippines from 2001 to 2010. Her presidency was marked by economic growth, infrastructure development, peace efforts, and education and health.
In 2010 to 2016, Benigno Aquino III became the President of the Philippines. His administration was known for its anti-corruption efforts and good governance initiatives. Rodrigo Duterte became the President of the Philippines in 2016 to 2022. His presidency was marked by controversial war on drugs, which drew both domestic and international criticism. He also focused on development through the Build program. From 2022 to present, Ferdinand Marcos Jr. is the President of the Philippines. His administration has focused on economic recovery post-pandemic and strengthening the country's agricultural sector.
For me, studying history helped us to connect to our roots, appreciate our own cultural heritage, traditions, and values.
For me, studying history allows us to learn from past errors, experiences, and successes.
Studying Philippine history is important because we learn a lot from great Filipinos and we can use their knowledge to become a great citizen.
Without the past, there's no present and future.
For me, studying history, we are discovering the common experiences of humanity and to learn about our past.
History is indispensable.
The history is a study about of life in society in the past and relation to present and development.